You're still on to the conversation right here on Lagos television. We're in the season of politics, and we have seen different political platforms trying to put their house in order ahead of 2027 general elections. And of course, they're trying to catch up with the INEC timetable stipulated by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But this morning, we'll be looking at the 2027 general elections and the emergence of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as the ADC's presidential flag bearer. You will recall that the party had its presidential primary, and of course, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar won that primary. Unfortunately, the other aspirant, former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, and of course the businessman Ayatuddin Mohammed have rejected the results of this presidential primary. And of course, Alhaji Atiku, in his acceptance speech, also extended his hand of fellowship to these other aspirants, saying that together they should come forward and support him to rescue the nation from the fangs of the ruling party, which is the APC. So how does the emergence of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, how will it change the permutation for the year 2027 presidential election? I will be having this conversation with Taiwo Olapade, colleague in the business of journalism, is right here in the studio with us to take a look at this particular issue before us this morning. It's a pleasure to have you, Taiwo.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so prior to this emergence of the former vice president, we have seen former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, Ayatuddin, and a couple of others, David Mark, Rauf Aregbesola, at different fora, saying that they are coming together is for the rescue of the nation. But now that Atiku has emerged as the presidential flag bearer of the ADC, Rotimi Amechi is saying that it was rigged out, that he saw vote buying and a couple of other malpractices in that process that gave the victory to Atiku Abubakar as well as Ayatuddin as well. So what do you make of the crisis that emanated from this presidential primary of the major opposition party in the country, which is the ADC?
Thank you very much. I think to start with, across board, not just limited to the African Democratic Congress, ADC, in which Alhaji Atiku Abubakar just emerged the flag bearer of the party, across political parties, particularly the leading parties, be it APC, be it PDP, be it Labour, be it ABGA, be it ADC, and even NDC, we saw a kangaroo primaries cut across board. And we saw lack of internal democracy. So I think is a warning signal for us as a country, sincerely. If political parties among themselves cannot, maximize the benefit of, okay, let's conduct election. We're talking of primaries elections across party line. We saw the way they were counting votes 1, 3, 20, 20 in a broad daylight, my brother, in this century of ours. And you expect those that were aggrieved from that malpractices to sit back and watch. We have started seeing the unfortunate, the outcome of that unfortunate election. Senator Ovio Magege, a former Deputy Senate President in Delta State, a former Deputy Senate President at that level, now dumping the APC to Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC. It's quite unfortunate. We saw some ministers that resigned, even from juicy positions that people used to say, how can a minister for, I don't want to, but the people like Minister Adebayo Adelabu resigning from Minister of Power, believing that he has what it takes to rule, fortunately, my state or your state. But alas, what did we see? It too is crying foul, and they will say, go to court. And they will say, we have election petition tribunal, and they will say, go to our election panel, appeal panel. What kind of appeal panel? Would they be able to get justice from appeal panel? I doubt it. So I think it is high time that our political parties, particularly the leadership of major political parties in the country. They should sit back, do a comprehensive review of what we have seen is not really
it's not democracy.
It's not democracy in practice at all. It's far away from it. It's far away from it.
Okay.
Across party lines.
Is this a pointer to what we are likely to have in 2027, like you rightly pointed out? If political parties cannot manage their internal affairs, then what should we expect in 2027? And some of these lapses that we have seen, would you ascribe it to the Electoral Act of 2026, which gave them the option of direct primaries or consensus?
Well, we can't blame... okay, let me also put it this way. In every human setting, sincerely, you cannot get a perfect whether election, but at least we should see a sign that
semblance
of getting close to perfection. But what we have seen so far is like for instance, the African Democratic Congress, in which Atiku Abubakar emerged the candidate of the party with about 1.8 million votes to beat Rotimi Amechi to second. I don't know why Mr. Orisa is coming second. Even during the Ashiwaju's 2023, he also came second in that contest. Mohammed Ayatuddin got about 117,120 votes. The total vote cast for ADC rather, 2.5 million votes. Okay. That's the total vote cast. So if you break it down, Atiku got 1.9, Rotimi Amechi about 504, and Mohammed Ayatuddin about 100 just maybe around 120,000 thereabouts. So the bottom line is, people really came out. That's one thing that we have also seen in APC, in ADC, even in PDP, where they've also done something similar. People actually came out. Party members actually came out. And that's the benefit of this Electoral Act 2026. They gave them the options of either consensus
or direct primaries.
Do direct primaries. So I don't know how it's now become becoming a conflict between members of the party that they are saying that, okay, now come out and choose your representative. Choose those who will represent us to face other political parties come 2027 general elections. And they took the option of option A4. Way back in 1993, June 12 election, where late
Chivenko
emerged as the winner of that election, there was no, even since immediately after the counting of the votes at different wards, you know
the winner.
So there's no harumoje, there's no contention, there's no conflict about it. But this one, in the broad daylight, everybody queued behind either the photographs of their candidates or posters, as the case may be. And they were counting high level of
2,000 to 8,000
electoral malpractice among yourselves, among your party members, and you expect somebody to sit back and laugh and watch and not do anything. It's quite unfortunate, particularly for the opposition political parties. For presidential in APC, we saw something that some people call maybe an RNG. But whether we like it or not, President Bola Tinubu, we saw a contest from one Mr. Victor
from Edo State,
from Edo State, and there was no much hula baloo per se from that contest, except the figure of 11.9 million votes per se, and the national chairman of the party is claiming that they have the capacity, but we will wait until the 2027 general election, whether indeed we will see them repeating such, or even getting more votes than what President Tinubu got from the primary election of the ruling of Progressive Congress.
Oh, okay. So why do you think the likes of Ayatuddin and Rotimi Amechi are aggrieved? Atiku is a professional politician and has been playing this game of presidency since I think 2015 or thereabouts. So is emergence now, would it break the ADC or make it better?
It's already
because Amechi is already saying...
It's already breaking the party apart. It's already tearing the party apart. And that you cannot see a reason why Mr. Gregory Peter Obi left ADC to go and claim the ticket of the Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC. Because he couldn't withstand the political sagacity of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. He couldn't withstand it. And you know one thing I will be say, I know they spend shishi. I know they, you know, and the guy can also do transactional politics. So that's the reason why it's so convenient for him to say, no, I can't stay in this party. This party does not align per se with my own ideology. However, he went to ADC, and this was given to him on a platter of gold.
To NDC.
To NDC rather, you know, all this the CCC and I don't know APC, all of them CC. No, what I'm just trying to say is the fact that you remember about a month ago they converged in Ibadan, and they said it was a Ibadan declaration.
Opposition
all
summit.
of them, they were there, and they agreed among themselves that we put forward a very strong candidate that will face Asiwaju come, and Nigerians were like, oh, thumbs up, this is good one. But alas, it wasn't up to a week before we start seeing, it was Mr. Peter Obi that first, you know, dumped that alliance, that declaration. Kwankwaso also followed, also did something similar to Peter Obi, and they all left. Two of them led for NDC to clinch the presidential and the running mate. So it's still part of what we are talking about, internal democracy. If political parties cannot organize themselves to have a credible electoral process, to have somebody that at least that is near perfection, we are not expecting them to be 100%, you know, in what they are doing, but at least let's see resemblance. If I'm using your word, resemblance of a transparency, accountability, and fairness in a situation where I could see that I have the people coming out to vote for me, and I knew from the exercise that I'm likely to win this election, and eventually they are writing. Let me tell you this. During the first exercise, that's today is 28.
28,
right?
yeah.
28. Okay, when the APC organized the first primary election, that was the House of Representatives.
House of
I
Representatives.
covered Surulere, Lagos Mainland, part of Mushin, and also Shomolu. In the ward that I cover in my own area, not that I was told, I was there live and direct. Of course, you cannot take it away from the fact that we had large turnouts, particularly for APC, and particularly in Lagos, where I also reside, where I also covered some local government. Large turnout, massive turnout, no doubt about it. But yet, you see politicians also taking that advantage to also inflate the figures. In one of the wards that I covered in Surulere, in Koka-Aguda, that's Surulere Constituency 2, we are now up to 500 in that polling unit, though people came out. But by looking at them,
when the result came out,
I saw for the person that won 1,605, and I contested it as a journalist. I wrote a piece, I did it, and fortunately,
because you were there.
I was there.
And you saw the number of people that were out.
My brother, fortunately, most of the political bigwigs, I have their contacts, we are brothers and sisters. I did my story. I shared with them. There were all sorts of things. They were calling me. They were abusing me. They said, I stood my ground. I was at this polling unit. The people that came out for even any candidate whatsoever was not up to the entire people in that polling unit, was not up to 500. And there was no even election. That was my report. I was there, not that I was told. So it beats my imagination. When I saw the result, and they wrote 1,605 for the person of their choice, and again, there was no even electoral officer at the polling unit.
Can you imagine that?
No electoral officer. They just took the advantage that, there's a porous system in this place. And
they took advantage of it.
How can you do that? And you expect somebody who believed that the process was not fair, that it was rigged,
not to complain.
Not to complain. And they said they've set up a panel. What kind of appeal panel? Will they seek justice at appeal panel? And that will give room for people. We have seen it now from Senator Ovio Magege. And I know we are likely to see across political parties, particularly the big groups.
And just yesterday, the Alaja General of Nigeria, Folashade Ojo, also addressed the media, complaining that some primaries in Lagos State were not
particularly
transparent.
For Mushin Federal Constituency 2. Sincerely, I don't know her interest in that. But at least...
She also mentioned Agege O2.
Yes, Agege, you know, because how can, you know, and you expect somebody who already knew was going to win that election to now sit back and say, okay, well, I allow the process that Mugba Folong, you know, that I accept my defeat in good faith. No, it doesn't work that way, because the person will have felt so aggrieved, felt so cheated, and maybe by this ruling of Justice Lifu of the Federal High Court, we have seen people now saying that maybe it has also opened the floodgate for politicians to now move from one party to the other. Because what we were told before was that the Senate did something with the electoral that made it so impossible for you to move, since your name has also been captured in your registration submitted to INEC. And I've seen a report from Senator Agege that APC should delete
his name and details
from their own registration. That he has moved to, he has found a new beautiful bride in the Nigerian Democratic Congress, and we are going to see more of that.
Okay, Atiku has gotten the ticket of the ADC now. Do you think that the likes of Rotimi Amechi might want to have a change of heart and, of course, probably be his vice and work together for the victory of the party in 2027? That's on one side. Okay. Secondly, the attitude of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar towards presidential election, year in, year out, does it portray him as somebody that is desperate? Because North spent 8 years when late Muhammadu Buhari was in power, and it is expected that South would also spend 8 years before it will be the turn of the northern part of the country again. So why is he insisting that he wants to rule the country in 2027?
Well, like somebody said over there that is a live ambition of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. This will be the 7th time that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, by record, will be contesting for presidential election. Of course, what the law says is if you are of a certain age and you also have some certain credential, I think it's no more than a WAEC or so. The standard is even so low. You want to contest for a president of the country, we are talking about WAEC. I don't know. So, and I know by constitution and electoral act, he is qualified. But if you are looking at that political arrangement, you know, though it is not written per se, but by the norms and by the gentleman agreement, we believe that late President Muhammadu Buhari, God rest his soul, as you know,
spent his 8 years,
the North for 8 years. So now we are by political arrangement is the turn of the South. You know, and Asiwaju, whether we like it or not, I think he's completing 4 years, the very first years. Of course, if we stand for election, and if he's reelected, fine, for another 4 years. But what we were expecting is the fact that somebody, and thank God we have seen the likes of Omoyele Sowore has also emerged, the prayer candidate of the AAC. We have seen the governor of my state, Governor Seyi Makinde,
APM.
PDP and APM. I don't know what kind of, is it Rainbow Coalition again? We know it's in River State that we have Rainbow under Alabuja of Abuja, it's on Wike. It's that we have Rainbow Coalition. I don't know, I'm asking now, the Jubola. Is that a Rainbow Coalition?
I'm not a politician.
You are not a politician.
I'm a journalist like you.
Well, okay.
So when I see rainbow in politics, I can't even recognize it.
No, but Alabuja of Abuja has brought Rainbow Coalition into our own policies in Nigeria. And that's what he's doing
he's still a member of the PDP.
River State.
He's still a member of the PDP.
We know he's a member of the PDP.
Not APC.
He's not a member
and
of
Governor
APC.
Sim Fubara is still the governor of that state.
Okay. But he's not running on the platform of APC because they have done
probably he just agreed to spend 4 years.
Okay. Which kind of agreement?
Well, I wasn't there.
Okay.
And like Wike will say, agreement is agreement. So the kind of agreement that they signed, I wouldn't know.
Okay. So Peter will be also for NDC. So that means we have already about 6 presidential candidates, including the incumbent President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But particularly for Atiku Abubakar.
From the north.
From the north. All the rest are from the south, which makes a lot of sense. But because somebody also said on the other side that the lifetime ambition of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is already about
his lifetime ambition.
Yes.
More important than the unity of this country.
That's what we say about our politicians. Majority of them are greedy fellows. I said ho-ha. Majority of them, just few of them that we can say, okay, maybe majority of our politicians are greedy fellows. They think more about themselves, not about the country. Forget about all these, what they say, they don't even practice what they preach. Most of them, they don't practice what they preach, and they do politics of convenience. They do things for their own personal gains, for own personal, for selfish interest, selfish gains, not for you and I or for the generality of the people. And that's why it's very quick for them. When the system does not favor them, they cry out of marginalization. But when the system favors, that same system, when it favors them, they claim victory and they say, oh, I'm popular and people have really come out to vote for me. But in this instance, we have seen a charade in terms of primaries, whether in APC, whether in PDP, whether in ADC, whether in NDC, and now we have seen the latest one from the African Democratic Congress, in which
so for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, it's just about his ambition, not the interest of the country.
Not for the interest, not to rescue Nigeria. Rescue Nigeria for what?
Because these are the people telling Nigerians that they are the better platform for Nigeria to grow, to develop, and what the APC has not been able to do, that they promised to they promised to do it and make the country better. But now it's appearing like
it is easier said than done. That's where they come to us. Sometimes politicians will come to you during an electionary campaign that I will build mansion on top of the sea. When they are giving the mandate on top of the land, but they will tell us when they are campaigning with their suit mouth that we will build mansion on top of the sea. Now they've been given that mandate, we will now be running after them. Oga, Shebi, this is what you told us during your manifesto, during your electionary campaign. You promised you will do this. How come we have not seen it? That's the way our Nigerian politicians, most of them, that's the way they are.
Okay, so with Atiku getting this ticket now, is it dead on arrival for the ADC to make any impact in the 2027 general election?
Well,
or is going to pull some stones?
I will not categorically say that, but definitely is already tearing the parties apart. Already, Mohammed Ayatuddin has picked holes in the exercise. Mr. Chibuke Rotimi Amechi has also rejected the result from the exercise. So, whether you like it or not, the fallout, there will be a consequence. But I won't say that whether the party will do well in 2027 election or not. I'm not a member of the party. I'm just speaking as a journalist and as somebody who has seen what exactly happened. But it will affect the fortunes of the party, particularly opposition parties that said that we are doing about a declaration and we are coming out with... That's exactly what happened in 2023. Yeah. When they went separate ways, that's why he also gave Ashwaji the victory to win that election. Now, we have Obi on one side, we have Atiku on one side, we have Seyi Makinde on one side. And these are people that were together during the declaration. So what do we expect? It's as if it's another victory for President Bola Tinubu.
Okay, is there any joker or any surprise that Alhaji Atiku might be cooking as to the choice of his vice that may upturn this election?
Well, let's wait and see who he will choose as his running mate. Of course, like you said, I don't necessarily, I'm just trying to crack my brain now. Who exactly could he choose as his vice that will change the narrative for him? Not for us to forget the fact that we also believe politically that it is the turn of the South to run 8 years.
However, not the North.
The South, rather, not the North. However, that arrangement is also faulty on the basis that we should do things on merit. But that's what we talk about our politicians. They can easily come together and say, by our own arrangement, let's give it to the North for 8 years. So where is the place of Nigerians in this? Is this the whole arrangement? They don't think about us. They only think about what benefits them as politicians. And that's where has brought us to where we are today. We should be based on merit. Whether
you're from the North or from the South.
Whether you're from the North or from the South, it should be based on meritocracy, not this oligarchy or zoningocracy that we are practicing now. It should be based on merit. Whoever can do it is who people should vote for. And I want to see sincerely, of course, there is this narrative as regards it's going to be APC against Nigerians for 2027 election. Some people are also playing that card that no, it doesn't really matter whether we are talking about political parties. Fine. We know that by INEC in 2023 that we know, let's go back to 2023 record if you permit me, INEC said that about 93.5 Nigerians registered to vote in that election, and about 86.3 or thereabouts collected their PVC. But what did we get from that election? We didn't get up to about 29 million.
People didn't come out to vote.
Yeah, people didn't really come out to vote. So that shows that even political parties, they don't have the number compared to Nigerians that are not members of political parties.
Okay.
We have about, say, about 75% to 35% of about or 40 highest are members of a political party, but we have the larger members of Nigerians who are registered voters, who have their PVC. So we want to see that reflect in 2027 general elections.
All right. So for you now, do you think it's going to be a roller coaster for the APC with this error made by the ADC to have chosen to have elected Atiku Abubakar as their presidential flag bearer?
I think the coast is getting clearer, whether we like it or not. By political permutations, number one, it has been zoned, like I said, though I also felt that among our political class, you know, because it is convenient for them.
All right, Taiwo, because of our time, we really have to go now. We must thank you very much for your contributions on the conversation this morning. Once again, our topic of discussion today was 2027, emergence of Atiku Abubakar as ADC flag bearer. We thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll take a very quick break. We'll be right back.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.